So children, today we are going to start the chapter 3rd, that is fiber to fabric. You are already acquainted with this topic, fiber to fabric, because this chapter was there in class 6 also. So we will do a little bit of recap of class 6 and then we will proceed to that is the topic that is present for your class at present class. So fibers from plants. Fibers are obtained from plants, and also we know that fibers are obtained from animals also. And other than these two natural sources of fiber, we can have one more source, that is called synthetic fiber. That is the man-made source of fiber. Fibers from plants. Plant fibers is mainly composed of cellulose and cellulose fiber. These are most commonly used to make papers and cloths. Cellulose is a type of carbohydrate you know already. Cellulose generates a long, often highly lustrous, that is shiny fiber when prepared appropriately. Plants including cotton, jute, flax and hemp. These are used to prepare plant fiber. So these are the very important examples of plant fiber. Okay, so what are they? Cotton, jute, flax, hemp. The various process that you have learnt earlier, that are the step for making fiber, that is fiber first made into yarns, and yarns are then made into fabric. So fibers are made into yarn by a process. What is it called? It is known as spinning. And yarn is made into fabric. It can be made by two ways. What are they? We have learned in the earlier classes: weaving and knitting. So weaving, what is weaving? When we use two yarns to produce a fabric, that is called weaving, and when we use one set of yarn to produce fabric, it is known as knitting. From animals, what are the animal source of fiber, natural fiber? That is, one is obtained from some sheep, goat, yak or camel, that is called wool, and the other is silk that we cultivate. The mulberry silk moth, and what happens, this silk moth give rise to a cocoon, and this cocoon is processed to obtain silk. So mainly the two types of animal fibers are wool and silk, and this silk fiber, it is protein in nature, that you should remember. Silk is protein in nature, and wool is what? Wool is obtained from the fleece, that is from the body hair of these animals that we have discovered. So first of all, we will start with wool. Wool from the animals, how we obtain. Wool comes from sheep, goat, yak and some other animals. These wool yielding animals wear hair on their body because their hair keeps themselves warm in the very cold climate of the mountains. But they does not require this fleece during the summer. So what they do? The people just take off or shave off the hair along with a thin dead layer of their skin and use them for obtaining wool fiber. Wool is used in making various types of fabrics like woolen clothes, carpets, woolen sweaters, jackets, mufflers, saddle clothes, so many more that you can add, that you know. We are going to read the next, that is rearing. How these animals are taken care, and their babies, how they are born, that is included in the topic, that is rearing and breeding. What is rearing? Rearing, you know, it is a process of breeding, giving food, that is feeding, and providing medical care, that is taking care, medical care of the sheep, that is known as rearing. These animals are kept since produced one or more useful products. So they are kept and they are reared, they are given food because of not only a single product but maybe more than one product are obtained by rearing these animals. What is breeding? Breeding, it is some special breeds of sheep that is having very soft under hair. They are chosen, that is the parents, that is a mother and the father, they are chosen to give birth to sheep, and this process of selecting parents for obtaining special characteristics in their offspring is known as selective breeding. So before rearing, what happens? Breeding is done, and breeding is the process of selecting good variety of sheep parents, that is male and female, to obtain a good variety of their offspring so that a good quality of wool can be obtained. Next, processing. Now you are going to read about the processing, how this silk that is obtained from the animals are processed. Before that, we should know that the different kinds of hairs that is present on the body of the sheep. The skin of the sheep is hairy and having two types of fibers forming its fleece. That is the coarse beard hair, that is the hair that is present in the beard. They are very coarse, they are rough, they are not used for making wool. But the fine soft under hair near the skin is the fleece. And this fleece is the main source of wool fiber. Okay. Next, what are the process? What are the different steps? We are going to read about the different steps. So the first it is shearing. Then after shearing it is scoring. And after scoring it is sorting, then dyeing, then straightening and rolling. We are now going to deal with this topic in detail. You can see shearing. What is shearing? Shearing, the fleece of the sheep along with the layer of skin is removed from the body, and this is called shearing. And the skin that is removed along with the fleece is dead skin. So it does not do any harm to the sheep. Next it is coring. The fleece of the sheep or cut hair of the sheep that contains dust that may be very dirty, and they may be dried, so there may be sweats in them, there may be grease, some sticky substances, oil may be present. So what happens, we have to wash them. So the sheared hair of the sheep is thoroughly cleaned and washing with soap is done, and that is done by taking a lot of water in a tank so that there will be no dirt or any other substances present on the fleece, and that process is known as scoring. After scoring, the separation of the fleece of a sheep into sections according to the quality, that is texture, like fine, coarse, long, short is done, and that very process is known as sorting. Next, the sorted fibers, they are dyed. Dyed means they are given color. The natural fleece of the sheep or goat is either white or brown or black in color, but the wool that are available in the market, you have seen they are colorful. So many colors are available. So how they are done? How the colors are obtained? So they are given color by a process called dyeing. After dyeing, what happens? The fibers are straightened, that is made into a straight one. Then they are combed and again they are rolled into yarns. Long woolen fibers are spun, that is they are twisted into yarn called wool. So now it is wool. Now the fibers of wool has turned to wool, that is the yarn, which is used for knitting sweaters. So sweater is knitted, not weaved. The short woolen fibers that are spun into fine yarns, that is fine thread like structure, they are woven. That is two sets of yarn is taken in this case on a loom to make woolen clothes like the shawls. The shawls that you are available at home, they are woven, but the sweaters that are available at home, the mufflers, the caps, they are all knitted. That you should remember. And after preparation of these yarns, what happens, the yarns are sent to the factories for preparation of the fabric, and from the fabric clothes are prepared and the clothes may be stitched or unstitched, that you have read in class 6. Occupational hazard. So during the sorting process, that is separating the fleece from the of the sheep into fibers, what happens, the people that do the job, they are called sorters. And what happens, a bacteria may be sometimes present in these fleas, and that bacteria is known as anthrax. Sometimes these sorters, that is the people doing the job of sorting, they get infected with a bloody disease. Means this disease causes infection to the blood and they cause death also, and the name of the bacteria is anthrax. So this disease that is caused by the bacteria called anthrax due to or during the sorting of the substances is known as sorter's disease, and which is a occupational hazard. Next, silk from animals. Silk is a natural protein fiber which is obtained from silkworm and can be used as a textile fiber. The different types of silk are produced by different types of silkworms. So different types, different varieties, different qualities of silks may be obtained from different silkworms. And the silkworms, that is generally that they eat upon the mulberry leaves. It's not general because different types of silkworms eat upon the leaves of different types of trees. Okay, and based on that, different varieties of silk are obtained, some of which are Kosa, Tasar, Muga, Eri. These are the few types of silk that are obtained. There are many more you can see and you can add. They are produced by various types of silk moths. One of the common type is mulberry moth, silk moth. That is, by the name itself suggests that the silk moth feeds on the mulberry leaves. Here is the growth. You can see the life cycle of the silk moth has been given. First of all, what will happen? The female one will lay egg. You can see the egg. And what will happen? This egg will hatch into silkworm. Silkworm, it is also known as caterpillar, or it is also known as larva. Larvae. You should remember. So the eggs hatch into silkworm or caterpillar, or better called larva. What will happen? This larva is very small when they are produced, but they start eating vigorously at a very faster rate on the mulberry silk leaves. So on vigorous eating, what will happen? Their body size increases many times, sometimes thousands of times, and they becomes bigger. And at some point they stops eating and they started spinning the cocoon around their body with the help of their salivary juice that contains a specified chemical that helps to make these strands, and they built a structure that is called cocoon. Inside that is present the animal that is called pupae. P-U-P. And what will happen after a considerable time, certain period, these pupa breaks off the cocoon and comes out in form of a adult silk moth. So this is the life cycle of silk moth, and this total life cycle that is carried on in some special places to obtain silk is known as sericulture. So what is sericulture? It is a rearing of silkworm to produce raw silk called sericulture. In the process of sericulture, silkworms are reared at appropriate temperature and humidity to get threads from the cocoon, that is silk threads. Processing silk obtained from cocoon, that is the silk that we have received, how we will proceed? Cocoons are collected and left under sun. Sometimes what happens, this cocoon before the pupa comes, okay, that you have to remember that for preparation of silk or obtaining silk, we have to take out the cocoons in the stage where the pupa is not coming out, that is the pupa is intact inside and the threads, the strands are not broken. We will collect the cocoons, we may let them under the sun, or we may boil it for separating the silk threads, or we can pass steam also, that is not given. We can pass steam, that is vapor, water vapor through this cocoon so that the silk fibers will get separated from each other. After that, reeling of silk is done, that is the process of unwinding the silk from cocoon. So we have to now take out the silk thread from the cocoons, and this process is known as reeling. Then spinning of silk fiber into threads is done, and what is obtained, that is the yarn. Silk yarn is obtained, the silk threads obtained are woven into silk clothes. So this is about your silkworm culture for the production of silk. Lastly, we have to just compare between these two types of fiber, that is natural versus synthetic fiber. We'll now give a look. Natural fiber, already we have learned the naturally occurring fiber that humans derive from the plants or animals are known as natural fiber. Animals fiber, these are the fibers that are acquired from the animals, for example wool, etc. Plant fiber, these are the ones that are obtained from plants and extracted from the plants to make fiber. The examples we know cotton, we know jute, we know flax, hemp. These are examples of natural fiber. On the other hand, synthetic fibers are man-made fibers, and that is why, and are prepared from the chemicals, and that is why they are called the synthetic one. These are more durable than natural fiber, and examples are polyester, nylon, acrylic, rayon you can add, etc. So this is about chapter Fiber to Fabric. Thank you, children.